Hello and welcome back. As usual, this is Becca going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow when online. And it's good to have you back for another week talking about Linden scripting language. This week we are going to continue just where we left off last time, where we covered how to store individual textures you wanted to apply to an object in the HUD. We covered the week before about the possibility of sending only the keys that actually describe a given texture. And this time we're going to talk about being able to load textures directly into the receiving object and then setting it up to process it all from there. There's actually two additional things I'm going to go over with this, so this is not going to be a wasted episode, I promise. So, without further ado, right now, this has only its receiving script inside. We are going with, we're going to have that attached. We grab the three textures right there. There we go. And we're going to drop them inside there. I need to remember not to do that. Because my avatar turn. Whoops. It also would help me remember how I set this up in the first place. So now, down here, instead of going through all of that, we could use instead of going through all the stuff we did before to select this, with this new version, we're just going to tell it to run the selection routine. We're going to create inside here. Still use the 110. Let's use it different. This is turning into bad copy. I had it open otherwise. That's what I need. My fingers are not being very easy today. Alright. What we've done just now, was corrected a typo. We did just now is we made a receiver, just like any of these, for receives the command textures, just to say the call for selecting textures is received. As always, testing out everything along the way saves you a lot of headaches. Texture call received. Now we know all of that is set up absolutely correctly for receiving it. What we want to do now we're going to prepare the dialog, get owner, choose texture. Takes 110. This time, when we set this up, we're actually going to talk about how to restrict the length of the file name if it's longer than what is permitted for one. We're going to talk about how to set things up so that if you have too many textures, we're going to allow for that. And we're also going to set it up so that the listen receiver right here, the 110, is only there when we're running this. We're going to set it up so that this is removed when it's not. Receiver. So the first thing that's going to happen when you choose the texture option is going to institute a receiver for listening on 110. And up here, let's remove receiver. We don't have a list for pixie. List. Pick this. We also don't have sample time there. And we're going to set it. We're actually going to put something in the list just so we have something. That will give you enough to test another set of operations with. We're going to be able to make sure that the listen picks up, that the dialogue works, and that we work with the listen. So hit the button, we get the correct options. We don't get anything there. And right there we see one. Negative. Channel sensor, channel detector. We can actually go over why that works that way in just a moment. Because it forgot to switch this to the negative 110, this didn't trigger. So it checked to see, since the channel wasn't on 110, so we forgot to add the negative, it then checked, did the message say textures? No. Did the message say up? No. Did the message say down? No. That left one option remaining to set the color, which it did, but it wasn't a vector. So the color it got was all zeros because it was no vector. This time it goes through. We got sample. Now, if I do /-110 S, that comes through. I hit sample, nothing comes through. Reason is this was all still the same. I'll actually do the test again. Nothing happens because the listen has been removed. The object just simply isn't paying attention anymore. A thing that a lot of dialogue options will do is some of them will even go through and randomize the channel. If you look through past videos, it'll tell you how to set that up, but that isn't really a necessary lesson for this one. But if you want to keep any dialogue menu for something secure, you can randomize the channel every time and just remove the listen when you're finished with it. But we're going to move on to part 2, setting up the list. So we're going to remove sample and other. Inventory number. Inventory. Texture. Integer I. Or you have to use anything. It doesn't have to be I, but I seems to be kind of traditional in all the places I was learning from, so it just sort of became a habit. Plus that. Count. A funny little thing with this is count will get you a number the way you or I would think of it. There are 3 textures in here. But when you go to run the for, it's going to start at the first one as number 0. So if you wanted to count up to 3, you would have less than or equal to. Then it will run for 0, for 1, for 2, and for 3. We take that out, it runs for 0, for 1, and for 2. But because it starts at 0 instead of starting at 1, that will cover 3 textures that are inside. That's just part of the wacky way computers handle things. Whoops. Let's talk about for loops, and I start out writing for. X equals X plus inventory name inventory underscore textures comma I. And again, because the list for pics is contained entirely inside this block of code, when it exits this block of code, that will cease to exist. And there we have the options again. Pic shut up needed. It received the message shut up needed. So that part is working just fine. Now, when I told you, though, that I would go through and teach you how to make sure that it would automatically shorten a file name if it was too long, here's how we do that. String name equals, delete that chunk there. If string length, so many commands have get as kind of a reflex. Name is greater than 25, then there we go. Get substring name, comma 0, comma 24. That will limit the length of it to 24. Actually, name equals. That was almost very stupid. What this means is that if the length of it is more than 25 characters, cut it down to the first 25 characters. It starts its count at 0, so you stop at 24. And then whichever version, either the original that it got directly out of the inventory, or the shortened version it gets from here, gets added to the list picks. Let's see if I have something I don't mind showing. It is going to be long enough. That looks like it would be more than long enough. A picture of a promotional poster for Maddox 01 Metal Scheme. Save this. Make sure. Save. I was slightly off of 24 or fewer characters. Simple. 24. 23. That should fix it. There we go. Yeah. Middle skip Maddox. Oh. That's how you deal with file names that are too long. We've got that solved. Next thing we're going to solve is to actually put the texture in here. So, set texture message all sides. There's a problem. Because this is a shortened version of the file name. So it's not recognizing the same file name. So, how are we going to solve that? That's a good question. What we're going to have to do is automatically search to see if we can find a file that matches that. So, to make that work, I mean, obviously the easy thing would be to make somebody shorten their file names, but you're talking about something you would be giving to someone else to put files into. You can't count on them to do things to make your life easier as a developer. As a developer, you have to create things where things will still function as often as possible with whatever strange input that the user is going to do. One of the harder parts of making good code is making code that can stand up to, one of the hardest parts of making smart code is making code that is smart enough to deal with a not so smart user. They're out there. They're probably not the people watching these videos, but they are out there. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to need another for loop. In fact, we can take that right there. So much of this is going to be descending. And we're going to have a substring index. That's going to be get some if substring index. Actually, we're going to start trying to name, comma, message is greater or equal to 0. What this means is that I could say is greater than -1, or I can say is greater than or equal to 0. If the specific chunk of text in message does not show up anywhere in name, then it would be -1, because 0 is the first character. -1 is it is nowhere in there. So, if that substring is greater than 0, that texture. Actually, one bracket this one too. That texture. You're going to have to use this to make sure you get the full name. So actually, just use name. Because we already got that in there. Name, comma, small size, and then you're going to use return. Alright. Why return? Because that stops us. That takes us out of this entire operation. We're actually going to add this there as well. And so when it leaves, it will remove the listen. It will then leave this entire operation. If it runs all the way through the for loop and doesn't find anything, owner say no such texture found, or even better, error texture not found. The reason you want to return to leave all of that here when you find the correct texture where a substring index, where the string name is found inside message. I'm sorry, where the substring message is found inside name. The reason you want to return is so it will stop searching. If you don't have this, it will automatically search through every file. And if you have 30 or 40 textures, that can add up. This allows it to leave the moment it finds the right one. So let's see if that doesn't work a little bit better. Yep. There you go. Now you've both shortened the name and still been able to use it. You're able to remove the specific listen. The only thing left to really worry about is if you have too many textures. If you have too many textures, then you're going to want to incorporate a next option. Alright, as I was just mentioning the next button, that's actually something I'm going to go ahead and pick up with for next week, on account that these videos seem to have a better response if I keep them around between 10 and 15 minutes, sometimes 20, and that everything I was covering there gets closer to the hour mark. So I will go ahead and pick up the way to deal with too many textures loaded into your device at a time with next week's video. So until then, this has been Becca, going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow when online. And I try to have these videos up every week by about noon Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover, go ahead and leave comments. A couple of you have contacted me in World. One of you sent me a link to something outside of SL with code to review, and unfortunately, because my internet went out that night, I lost track of who it was that had spoke to me. So I'm not ignoring you, I just wound up not being able to find who it was I needed a message back. So if you contact me again, I'll go ahead and deal with that. A couple people have sent me code scripts that they're working on. Make sure to send them to me full permission so I can actually look at them and tell me very specifically what it is or is not doing. I have somebody I'm trying to give a hand with that too, but I'm not entirely sure what it is the difficulty they're having, but I don't mind giving a hand there as long as I know exactly what you need. So that's it for this week. Thank you again, and as usual, good night, good luck, and happy coding.